Well, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing great, having a great day. Hey, Matt. Good to
Hey
see you.
John, how are you
You
doing?
okay, buddy? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So we're just going to just jump right in. I'm really excited about this one today. This is kind of a different. This is our closing out our series on selling your book of business, and it's really been a lot of fun to do. We've got a lot of great feedback. We've had several agents raise their hand and say, "Yeah, I'm ready to do it," which is nice, awesome. And then I know a lot of other of you out there are really thinking hard about it. So hope this has been helpful. And what we're doing here this afternoon on this one is we're interviewing three agents. Holly Roberts, who we bought Holly's book 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years now. Kevin Wood. Kevin's a great guy that we just recently did his about 2 months ago. We closed on Kevin's. And then our third one is Harry Conneyful, really a sweet guy. And his sale is in progress right now. Really just a couple of weeks ago, we got started on it. And in fact, Harry just got his purchase agreement today. So I think it'll be interesting. Sit back and listen. We'll kind of give a little brief intro between each interview. They were pre-recorded here this last week, and then we'll have time for questions and here at the end, or you can type them in. In fact, we got these three guys, they're listening in too. So if we need to get one of them on the line, we'll try to see if we're smart enough to figure that out and get them on here with us, and we can visit with them too. So you got anything to add to that, Matt?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to start off with Holly. And just really quick on Holly's deal. Holly was wanting to retire, was ready to retire, but he wasn't an agent that we had ever worked with before. So he was new to us. Really good guy, he and his wife. But just so you know, for what it's worth, he's in the senior market, but he wasn't an agent like a lot of ours that we've worked with for a long time. So we'll kick it off here, Jason. And you reached out to us a few years back. How did that happen? Do you remember?
I responded to some of your emails that you sent. You know how you send out a weekly newsletter and
Yeah.
at least once a week.
Yeah.
And one of the things that caught my eye was the fact that y'all were interested in talking to people who might be ready to retire or sell their business. Right. And that's what did it. But I kind of felt a little awkward because, man, I've never dealt with these guys, but I still like to talk to them.
Yeah. We get a lot of that. I mean, the guys that we know that are in our downline or have worked with us, of course, we talk to them, but we get calls all the time, all over the place that people are agents are.
And y'all were really kind, and you explained yourself well and the whole process. And then I remember I was up visiting my daughter near Chicago, and I thought, well, we're going to stop by, and my wife and I come visit with you and talk.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah. How long did you do this, Holly?
I've been in the insurance industry in some type or another since I graduated college. But as far as the Medicare and healthcare, that was just when Medicare went to these Med Advantage plans and prescription drug plans. I think it was like 2006.
Yeah. That's when you jumped back in.
That's when I started doing Medicare. Prior to that, I primarily had a property and casualty agency that I sold. Yes, sir.
Looking back, do you wish you would have done it earlier, or do you wish you would have hung on a little while, or do you think you hit it just right?
Well, I'd kind of prayed about it, and honestly, the timing was perfectly because COVID was hitting real strong then.
That's right.
And things were shut down, and it just worked out because people were still needing to take care of insurance, but they weren't meeting face to face or in person and all that. Yeah. And I was old school, and I just kind of met people at the kitchen table and went to their houses or had them come to me.
Yeah.
And so it just worked out real well that the timing was good for me. So it just worked out right. And I'm thankful that it was right for y'all too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this, because most of your customers were there in your community, right? Where they're pretty much local customers, right?
Right. I did my county and the counties that touched my county. So there was about 5 or 6 counties.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was local. If
Yeah.
I had any out of state or long distance customers, it was referral business.
I got you. So now that we're 2 years in it together, and Luke's crew that does all the service work and takes care of those customers, do you get any feedback back from your customers, or has it been, this is kind of setting, but has it been good? I mean, are your customers happy?
Yes, I do run into some occasionally here in town, and they're being treated well. I kind of spoiled them, to be honest.
You did.
Because, they could see me at their house or my house or whatever. But that's just a new normal now, especially when the pandemic hit, was we got to do things not quite as much in person, but they've been treated really well. And I'm thankful for Luke and his crew.
Yeah, good. Well, you said that exactly right. That's what I was hoping you'd say. We would have had to edit it if you said something different.
Oh, no, I said what I mean, and I mean what I said.
Appreciate it. You're kind of thinking, you still kept your license and all of that live going. And we talked a little bit about you and your wife are both turning 65 here right away, right?
Yeah, just in the next few months.
And you're thinking, hey, you're kind of thinking about maybe getting back into it in a little bit, just to have a few contracts in your hip pocket. You could help out family, friends, just business that was referred to you, and which we love. Why wouldn't we want to do that? Of course.
Yeah.
So we talked about getting you set up with a few carriers, and then we'll see if you still got ink in that pen.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
And I really do. Because all of a lot of our friends and schoolmates and all are all turning the same age about the same time, and so we've got some possibilities here to help other people out, and
good.
Hope it'll help.
That works great with us. We're all for that, brother.
Yeah.
Holly, thank you, bud. All right, guys. Well, that was Holly Roberts, and really, really a great guy. Somebody had asked a question, and we got a couple questions. One from John: what was the size of Holly's book? And I just texted Holly. I want to say he had about 600 customers, maybe 500. I'll try to find out exactly, John. I mean, but off the top of my head, I kind of think that's what it was. That was a couple of years back. And Matt, we got a question here before we hit Kevin Wood. Typically, how many years of renewals do you pay for MAPD and MedSup? I know we've talked about this on previous webinars, but you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. So after we do appraise the book of business, typically the multiple comes out to be somewhere between 2 and 2.5 times, maybe a little bit more. Just all kind of depends on the book. So they're all different, and the makeup of the books are all different, but typically it's going to be within that range.
Okay. All righty. Well, we're going to keep going here. Kevin Wood's our next guy. Kevin probably did business with us, or has done business with us maybe 15 or 20 years. I'm kind of guessing there, but really a great guy. And he and his wife and their son are moving out of state. They're moving to Florida. And so he felt like it was best, since he wasn't going to be servicing those customers anymore, to turn them over to us. And so we worked through that. And I think the plan is, once he gets to Florida and gets all set up, he's going to stay in the business down there, and we'll get him rehooked up again. And maybe we can buy another book from him in a few years. So anyway, this is Kevin Wood. And this book we just bought 2 months ago, and Matt and his team helped us through on this one to do the valuation on it. So we'll let it roll here.
Kevin, good to see you today, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Getting eager to make the big move here.
I know it. I know it. It's exciting. So just tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been in the business, and what brought you to the point where you were ready to sell your book, and kind of what your plans are.
Okay. Well, I've been in the insurance business, just over 22 years now. As of July the 7th was my 22nd year in the business. Been in the senior market from the start. It's kind of the market that I specialize in, enjoyed it. It helped my parents, and it just, progressed from there. Enjoy what I did, enjoy what I do. And
Sure.
something that, it's something I've always wanted to do. It's been a great living for the last 22 years for me and my family. But for several years, we've been, tossed to the idea of, moving to Florida. And it's for about 3 or 4 years, I've been weighing the options of doing my business, selling my book of business, that is. And, the everything just lined up right. And you guys stepped in and helped facilitate that.
And did it happen? You're saying this has kind of been a 3 or 4 year thinking for you, and you're moving down there. Are you thinking you're going to stay in the business down there when you get down there? I mean, I know some of the answers to these, but we want to hear what your thoughts are.
Probably won't be in it as active as I was, starting an agency. I won't be, out beating the bushes 5-6 days a week, like I was before. I mean, it's something I'll do. I'd be silly not to do it because, the Medicare market, Medicare Advantage Part D. I mean, it's, something I know I can recite most of it in my sleep because I've been doing it since the start. But I mean, it's something I'm going to stay in when I'm down in Florida. The Florida market versus Indiana, where I'm located at now, there's a little bit different, more heavy Medicare than it is, the Medicare supplement. I'm a real big Medicare supplement proponent. I don't like the Medicare Advantage, but they have a market for it. So I mean, you'd be a fool market not to be offering it to your clients.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, it's nice you got the options. That if you you want to get down there and run hard again, we'd love to run with you. And if you don't, that's obviously great too. So, everybody that's listening, Kevin, this just happened. We just closed on his book. What, Kevin? Just a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
June the 1st.
Yeah. Okay. June 1st. And kind of just give folks an idea, like from start to finish. When did you reach out to us and say, I think I'm ready to get going on this?
I think you and I had talked probably in the middle of March. That I was interested. I seen a blog that you had with one of your local CPAs there. And you guys were talking about the benefits of selling your agency and the way to do it to maximize the profit. And I watched that blog, and that kind of sparked things. I think I reached out to you shortly after that. And so I mean, if you're even contemplating the idea, they definitely need to look at that blog, because it was very informative to me, and that kind of, kick-started. Once I watched that blog, I threw it out to my wife. What do you think about moving to Florida? And it wasn't, a split second after I said that, she jumped right on that. So
you're afraid that? Yeah. Great. That's great.
But to your horn or nothing, but I've been doing business with you guys well over 15 years of the 22 years I've been in this business. And everything that you've ever told me, which, anybody that's been in this business knows that, people promise you the moon, but they can't, do it. Everything that you've ever told me, you either you tell me you can do it or you tell me you can't. And that's why, I take care of my clients. I probably go above and beyond. A lot of guys want to do everything on the internet or through the mail. I don't do it that way. I do it face to face. That's the way I tell my clients. I do it face to face. I think, selling my book of business to you guys are going to keep that tradition going, and my clients like that. And you guys you contacted them already. You sent that letter out for me to my clients. You followed up with shortly after that. I think, as a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday or day before that, I got a call from you guys, reaching out to the clients. My son's got a life insurance policy, and I got a call, from you guys reaching out to him to welcome him and all that. And that's what clients like. They want to be in touch. They don't want somebody going to write the business and run off and never hear from them again. And everybody that's been in this business heard that story that the guy that wrote her, the gal that wrote this piece of business for me, she ran out and I've never seen him since. That's the way to do business if you're going to have a career in this business. But back to what I was talking about with you guys, everything you've ever told me has come true. If it's something you couldn't do, you told me straight up, it's Kevin, that's something I can't do. And that means a lot. It means a lot in this business. It means a lot to me. So I do appreciate you guys with that.
Buddy,
Look forward to
that. Thanks so much. On that thing, on that subject, I think most everybody, not all, because there's different models now where, some of the customers that agents have, they've never met them face to face. And we've got some really great agents. That's their model. But still, the majority of them are like you. They're close to them. They live around them. They know them. They've been in their homes, all of that. They're really good friends. And so that transition, besides you wanting to make sure you get a good, fair price, get the most you can, but knowing that somebody's going to be taking care of your customers, and we really do our best to communicate a lot to those people because we know we're not going to be in their backyard like you are. So we have to overdo it. So thank you for saying that, buddy. Yeah.
I had a problem, and you guys, and I had another agent ask me how this all went. I had a price in mind that I was wanting for my book of business. We submitted the paperwork and stuff to you guys. You guys looked at it, valued it. I came back with another price, and you guys, pretty close got to what I was looking at. So, I mean, it's not like you're going to book business, you're going to get, pennies on the dollar. I mean, you guys, stepped up and give me an actual valuation of my book of business. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Now, we give Access Capital just all the praise there because it's really, really great having those guys as our partner because that's what they do is they value these books. And, their first offer that they come to people with is usually pretty dang close. Not that there isn't a little wiggle room here and there, but, they're fair. And I think that's been the case with most of the deals we've done. The guys they feel good about the offer. Well, buddy, man, I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'm hoping Florida is really good to you, and we stay in touch, and you get down there and you get bored and you want to do a bunch more, and we'll get in there and paddle with you, buddy.
Sounds great.
All right, man. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, that was Kevin Wood, and thank you, Kevin. And you got any comments on that, Matt?
No, I was just thinking, man, it's nice to kind of see, we talk to the agents we work with a lot, but never really face to face. We work with agents all over the place, so it's kind of cool to be able to see, kind of from start to finish the whole thing. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it really is. It's great, rewarding. All right, last but for sure not least is Harry Conneyful, and Harry's been a really, really good friend to us here, done business with us for a long time. And I think I mentioned this or we talk about it in his interview, but Harry had reached out to us earlier in the spring, didn't he, Matt? And you guys valued his book then. And we went back to him and he said, he and his wife talked about it. And they said, you know what? I just don't think I'm ready yet, which is great. We're for sure not trying to push anybody. And I said, great, Harry, we'll just keep walking along together and we'll look at it again next year or whenever you think you're ready to get serious about it. Well, it was after we did, I think our webinar with Andy here a couple of weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago now, on the whole tax strategies and planning and all that stuff. And we also talked a little bit about some of the new compliance regulations that were coming in that were impacting everybody. And I mean, it was minutes. I got out of doing the webinar, I went to my office and there was an email from Harry and it basically said, great webinar. I'm ready to move as quickly as we can go. So that's how fast it's been. And Matt and his crew just came up with the valuation. We had to revalue it. And we got that a couple of days ago to Harry. And then he said, yep, sounds good. Let's go. And he just got the purchase agreement today. So he's just signing all the papers literally as we speak right now. So kind of came together there. You got any 2 cents worth to throw in on that, Matt, before we?
Yeah, I think like situations like this happen here a lot where we value book of business and an agent's just not ready. And I think we've talked about this before, that we never charge for evaluations.
Yeah.
But what's nice about it is so Harry came back, we'd already done a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to our model, getting all the data in. And so we were able to turn around pretty quick a revised offer, just leaning on the valuation that we'd done before. We just have to do a couple updates and have a revised offer. So I'm glad that it worked out the way that it did.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's roll them here. This is Harry, and we'll visit here after this one and see if we got any questions, and we'll wrap up the series. Harry, how long have we been doing business together?
Oh, heavens. I've been doing it 22 years. I'm thinking we go back at least 18 or 20.
You remember what the first deal was that you?
I'm 71 years old. I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
That's great.
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. What was the deal with you that kind of made you pull the trigger and say, you know what, it's time? What was there anything that stood out that made you think now is the right time to make this move?
I think the answer to that, John, is I've loved doing this for all the years I've been doing it because I was passionate about it. In fact, I had a wonderful conversation yesterday with a neighbor, a friend. He happens to be a minister. He's just turning 65, and he was thanking me for the conversation. And I says, well, I thank you for your time and your trust and putting up with whatever I had to say. But I'm not finding myself as energized as I go into new conversations. And that to me is against the rules. If I'm not feeling energized and passionate and ready to give 110%, then I'm not doing what I should be doing. And that says maybe it's time to change the channel. And so that was really what did it.
Well said. Yeah. Well, let me go back because I know you and I talked early in the spring, maybe February, March, sometime in there.
Yep.
And we're thinking, hey, I think I'm ready. And we did a valuation, kind of went through that process, and then you just it just wasn't quite there yet.
I had second thoughts. Yep.
Yeah. Right. But this time you feel like
6 months later.
Yeah.
I gave it that extra shot, and it's not like I don't care. It's not like the spark isn't there, but
yeah,
it's just not as all-consuming for me as it was for so many years. And I just, if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't want somebody to be in a smiling but half-hearted way.
Yeah. Really, what a well said, great thought. That is so true. And I know, and we've done several of these now. Some of the guys, I've had them comment, I probably should have done this 3 or 4 years ago. I probably should have, because you can the numbers reflect it too, because their income went down. You can just boom, 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 because they weren't passionate about it like they once were, and they weren't, they had other interests or whatever. So Harry's just getting started really in the process. We're reevaluating your book right now.
Yep.
And going to come up with another offer probably this week for him, and then we'll close really quick. So what else, Harry? You got anything else you want to throw in here?
I guess you guys deserve all the time and attention that I've spent with you and your staff, because you're always there. You've always got the answer. I mean, I can't hardly get on the phone without having your quote tool up on the other screen. So it's just that I haven't needed to look anywhere for help that you guys couldn't provide. And that's it. I mean, it just, you stand out. And I even tell people, I said, my go-to team is in Decatur, Illinois. They said, where? Just, but you're it. I don't know what more to say.
Well, appreciate you, buddy. And we'll get through these last few weeks together here. What are you and your wife going to do? What are you guys going to do?
Oh, we've already started doing some traveling. We did the Dakotas and all the way out to Montana late spring. We've got a cruise planned. We're going to fly into Quebec and then get on a ship and go down the St. Lawrence Seaway all the way down to hit some ports in Maine and end up in Boston. We just want to get out and see the world while we've got the energy to do it. And right now we've still got the energy. So
that is so good. Well, friend, take care. Let's make sure we stay in touch.
Absolutely.
As the years roll on. But thank you, Harry. Appreciate you. Appreciate your comments.
Yeah, thank you, John, again. And everybody there, please pass it on.
I will. All right. Well, that kind of wraps it up. I think we got a couple of questions, and then I'll let Matt make some comments. But I really enjoyed having Matt and his group on these 4 webinars that we've done, and they've really been well received and well attended. Hopefully, it's been helpful. And so, anyway, let me do these questions. What's this one, Jason?
Just asking about the books of business that were sold. Are they 100% Medicare, 90%? How about final expense and life?
Well, all of these were a mixture. They were heavily Med Sup and MA, probably more Med Sup than MA. But God, we like final expense books, don't we, Matt?
Yeah, it's pretty much anything in the senior market we can value. So, and even stuff beyond that. So if you have any supplemental, like cancer, heart plans, long-term care, if you just have like an old book of whole life sitting around that you wonder what it's worth, we're happy to take a look at it.
Yeah, as long as there's a renewal income stream on it, we're for sure interested. Okay.
Do taxes high dollar treated as income? I'm not sure.
Well, you know what, and that's kind of segues in. We've done 4 of these. The second one that we did in this series was on tax advantages, tax treatment. We had our accountant on, and they can go back and see all these, right, Jason?
Yeah, so we're going to send out a replay of this webinar, but we'll include links to the previous 3 as well.
Oh, that'd be great. So you can, if you missed one or you want to review them, you'll have them all right there at your fingertips. That's great. Matt, you got any final closing thoughts here, brother?
Yeah, well, I think so. In our discussions we've had this week, I think we should probably highlight that we're getting pretty close to the cutoff point to be able to buy or even value books of Medicare Advantage books.
Right.
The carriers just really won't process them during open enrollment.
Right.
So for us to value, get everything accepted, paperwork, and submitted for transfer, I mean, we're really running up. What is today, the 10th? I mean, we really need to probably have everything submitted by September 1 to be able to close this year. So if it's something you're thinking about, when the time's kind of ticking to have, as long as speaking of just Medicare Advantage books, but
yes,
the time is ticking. So,
so if anybody listening in, if you're thinking, I'm really, really close to this, and some or part or majority of your book is Med Advantage, it's like we need it today. In fact, a good friend of mine, a guy that I've known a long, long time, he's done business with us a long time. I just got his information this morning, and so we're going to get it in the hopper real quick and get him processed. But if you're on the fence and you got Med Advantage, we really got to have it right away. Otherwise, we'll have to wait till it'd be a January close, wouldn't it? So. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Appreciate you all. We're always here every day. If you got questions, you want to visit about this stuff, if you need to talk to Matt on some of his things, call me or call Matt. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.